Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eric Coffin at your Advisories. I'm here at the September 2025 Metal Investors Forum in Vancouver. With me is Niel Marotta. He's the CEO of Sun Summit Minerals, which is one of the companies that I invited to present my speaking block. If you're not aware of them, Sun Summit has a very nice project in the Toodoggone, which, as Niel will tell you, it's definitely the hottest exploration area in BC. It's arguably the hottest exploration area over a much wider scale than that. There's a huge amount of activity and a huge amount of good news has been coming out of that area. Sun Summit just started reporting. Their first drill hole was great. There's lots of news flow coming. So what do you think in the next in the next 2 or 3 months? You still have a couple of rigs going, right? I mean,
we do. Yeah, we brought in the second rig just last weekend and put out some news about that this week. We did that intentionally to follow up on that hole number 7, that 78 meter, 3.7 gram hole we put out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
a real banger of a hole. I mean, that would have been a great hole 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to follow up on that. We're following up on it right now, drilling there, and also drilling on the east side at the Fin Zone.
Okay. And if you're not aware of the Toodoggone as a camp, it's extremely active, and it's one of those camps that's, it's generated several, not just one, it's generated several discoveries in the last few years. You guys might be onto another one, but I think it's worth it's worth people understanding Sun Summit's valuation in relation to the companies that, both literally and figuratively surround it. Because I think JD's as good a project as anyone's up there. It's really just a matter of getting the work done and getting the holes in to show the market that. But if you can sort of speak to the relative valuations of your neighbors, if you will.
Sure. Well, the market cap of the whole district has gone from a few $100 million to over $1 billion now, and I would exclude Centerra and Freeport, who are involved in the JV there, from that number. But we're right in between Thesis Gold and TDG Gold, both of which have market caps of close to $500 million now, and we're still just under 50 million. Yeah. And so, we think we have multi-million ounce potential. It's going to take some work to get there, and if we do, I think that's how we narrow that gap. And so we still think there's a lot of upside for investors here.
Right, and you've got you're well cashed up. I mean, you did a big financing earlier this year that allowed you guys to do a big program, but I would think, well, especially with the hole you just put out, but just for the whole current market sentiment and the kind of news flow, not just from you, but from that whole camp, I don't imagine you're going to have a lot of trouble finding more money, because I think you'd really like to get to 100% on the project, right? Just get that done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. Yes, we do have better access to capital now than we might have 9 months ago, certainly better than 9 months ago. And we were very lucky to raise $10 million in May. We set out to raise $3 million to fund just this 1 year's work requirements. And the demand was so good that we raised $10 million. And so that has enabled us to get well ahead of the curve on the remaining work commitments. Our market cap being much higher, closer to 50 million, with 12 million of work commitments left. There's a path where, given we have 15 million worth of warrants currently in the money, we could actually get there inside a year or two, maybe as early as next fall. So our goal will be to be opportunistic about it. There may be some corporate interest here. We've seen corporate investments in all of our neighbors. And so there's maybe a little bit less dilutive path to get there. But either way, I think we do have access to financing to get to 100% ownership, and that's a big priority for us.
Yeah, and plus the neighbors you've got. I mean, you look at Thesis, and it just looks like one of those companies that's going to go. I mean, somebody's going to show up and take it. And you look at the geology, which just basically runs across the camp. You guys are right in the middle of it. You probably don't want to have it happen for your purposes. You probably don't want to have it happen too early. But Sun Summit seems like one of those deals where, even though you're still early, it's not hard to envision a scenario where you guys get caught up in the M&A, because you got to figure one of these guys is coming for the guys around you sometime soon. I mean, they're already racking up pretty big resource numbers, and now their market cap's really starting to move. You know, I would think if I was a major, I'd be going like, do I really want to wait another 6 months or pay
Right.
twice as much, or should I just, you know, bite the bullet?
You could very well be right, Derek. I think there's a district play here that's happening. You know, Chemes was the biggest past producer. Centerra owns that, anchoring the district. But we've seen other big companies, including Skeena and Freeport, invest heavily in the area. I'm sure there's other big companies that are interested, taking great interest, given that the Toodogone's in British Columbia.
Yeah.
I think jurisdiction matters now as much as ever. And I think BC is becoming more and more mining friendly. You know, seeing some of the leadership down in places like Beaver Creek, talking about speeding up permitting and being mining friendly, and we should be. So I think it's a great time to look at the Toodoggone. Yeah.
Okay, and just in terms of going forward, you got one hole out, you got 2 rigs. You know, I mean, fingers crossed, the weather gods smile on you. But I mean, you've got quite a few holes in the can right now, so news flow should be pretty strong here right through year end, I would think, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we have a grand total of about 20 more drill holes to come out between now and, let's say, December, January timeframe. About half of that was on the Creek Zone, including what we're following up on. We're also drilling at Fin Zone on the east side of that 4-kilometer corridor. And we did poke a couple of reconnaissance holes into a porphyry target. And that's the other thing to think about. There's the epithermal gold silver, and that's what we're building. But there's also big porphyry potential here, not unlike what we've seen with AMARC and TDG just immediately to the south of us.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this camp. It's quite impressive. Watch for news. I mean, I'm expecting good news here for the next 2 or 3 months. This is a stock that it's come along very well since you took over as CEO. I mean, I think you did the right thing. You did the financing you had to do. I think people are a lot happier knowing there's a significant amount of news flow, and being able to get that second rig to go back to step out from that marquee hole. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, that's something that wasn't possible last year.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to do that, it makes a big difference in terms of shareholder sentiment. So, I think we could still see a lot of good news and a lot of good things ahead in the market for Sun Summit. It's Sun Summit Minerals, SMM on the venture, and SMREF, OTC, I guess it's QB in the U.S. Thanks for watching, and keep your eye on the stock. It should be pretty interesting here in the next couple of months.